Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into AI in action, productivity and misuse potential. Our goal, to unpack how AI is actually being used out there, how it boosts efficiency, but also the surprising, sometimes alarming ways it gets misused, and maybe most importantly, what that all means for you. Our main source here is Master Module 0, Topic 3, August 3. It gives us a great governance foundation, linking the tech side with the real-world risks. Let's kick off with something that really, for me, just captures attention here. Vanderbilt University, February 2023. They sent this email after a campus shooting, meant to be consoling, talking about community, healing, but then way down at the bottom, tiny print. Paraphrase from OpenAI's ChatGPT. Whoa, the backlash was instant. Not because the message was technically bad. It was the judgment felt hollow, right? Like no real empathy there. So it makes you ask, when does efficiency become dehumanizing? When did these tools cross a line where you just need genuine human connection?
Yeah, that Vanderbilt example, it feels small, but it really taps into this bigger global feeling. We're looking at AI having this huge economic impact, like $15.7 trillion by 2030, PwC says. So when you see that potential, it's kind of jarring how every misuse, big or small, just seems to chip away at public trust. And losing that trust, it can slow down good AI adoption, costing economies, well, billions. And it's not just Vanderbilt. Let's look globally for a second. South Korea 2021. Scatterlab's chatbot, Lee Luda, trained on like 10 billion Kakao Talk messages.
Well, that's a lot of data.
Huge amount. And it almost immediately started making discriminatory comments. Minorities, LGBTQ plus folks had to be shut down fast. Lots of regulatory heat followed. Or think about the Netherlands child benefits scandal. That was 2019 to 2023.
Right, I remember hearing about that. Terrible.
Yeah, an AI fraud detection system wrongly flagged 26,000 families, mostly dual nationality citizens, cost them $1.5 billion in damages. And incredibly, it actually brought down the Dutch government.
That's staggering impact.
It is. And then you have China's social credit system still ongoing. That's AI monitoring behavior, affecting 1.4 billion people's access to travel, education, jobs. It's a really clear example of, state-level misuse potential.
And beyond the direct human cost, which is obviously huge, there's this other side people don't talk about much, the environmental cost. Every failed AI project, every scrapped system, there's just wasted compute power, wasted energy.
Exactly. That Vanderbilt email, probably minimal energy, but large-scale misuse. Retraining, replacing systems, it adds up fast.
Yeah, like training GPT-3 alone was, 552 tons of CO2?
Something like that. Equivalent to 120 cars driven for a whole year. Misuse just multiplies those costs.
You've got the geopolitical angle too, right? The U.S.-China AI race.
Definitely. That competition can intensify the risks of misuse as everyone rushes forward.
Which is probably why we're seeing things like the EU's AI Act.
Precisely. Enforced this year, big fines up to 35 million or 7% of global turnover, trying to put some guardrails around high-risk AI misuse. So pulling this all together, why does this matter to you listening right now? It becomes really clear that good AI governance isn't just some ethical nice-to-have or a compliance thing. It's kind of existential. It affects society, the economy, political stability. For professionals, understanding this stuff isn't just important. It's, essential if you want to avoid being the next cautionary tale.
Okay, so how does this actually play out inside organizations? It seems like AI isn't just one thing. It's more like a spectrum, isn't it? From human alone all the way to AI autonomous.
That's a great way to put it. And the key thing, the really critical insight, is as you move along that spectrum toward replacement, the governance needs and, the potential risks, they shoot up exponentially.
So on one end, enhancement, like GitHub Copilot helping a developer code faster.
Exactly. AI assists, makes humans quicker. Then you have supervision. AI leads, but a human's got to check the work. Think Microsoft's AI for document review lawyers have to verify every suggestion.
Okay.
And then the far end, replacement. AI runs the show, no human fallback. Like Klarna's AI assistant handling millions of chats.
Equivalent to 700 agents. Wow. With no way to get to a human for basic stuff.
Basic queries, yeah. That's the model. So practically speaking, operating near that replacement end demands serious controls, like confidence scoring. The AI says how sure it is if it dips below, say, 85%.
A human gets flagged to look at it.
Exactly. And even for supposedly fully autonomous systems, good governance means you need emergency human escalation routes, regular human audits, and absolutely critical kill switches, just in case.
Makes sense. And different industries land differently on this spectrum, right?
Oh, definitely. Finance often goes for AI-led plus human. High governance is a must because the risks, like discrimination, are huge. They spend billions globally on that. Manufacturing, though, sometimes
Yeah.
they can push towards AI autonomous, maybe lower governance maturity in some ways, but the safety risks are incredibly high, still hundreds of millions spent there. And the complexity of these rules, it's intense. Just look at some examples. Financial services, quarterly model checks for credit. Average documentation for a high-risk model is like 47 pages.
47 pages, wow.
Yeah. And it costs big banks maybe $2.1 million a year just on compliance for this stuff. Healthcare, FDA clearance for an AI medical device takes 6 to 18 months. You need clinical validation on at least 1,000 patients, plus $5–10 million extra in liability coverage.
Good hurdles.
And manufacturing safety, ISO standards, failure rates, less than 1 in 10 million hours, mandatory 10,000-hour testing periods. It's rigorous.
It really brings it home seeing how it plays out. Okay, let's get into the weeds. Where is AI being used, and how is it going wrong? Sector by sector. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's start with business and enterprise. We've heard about some big ones here.
Absolutely. Amazon's AI recruiting tool, that 2014 to 2018 period, is kind of the poster child for this. Their goal was good. Make hiring efficient, remove bias. But the AI learned from 10 years of mostly male resumes.
Oh, so it learned.
It learned male candidates were preferable. It literally penalized resumes with women's chess club captain or grads from all women's colleges.
Unbelievable.
4 years of development, millions spent. A massive failure in pre-deployment bias checks. Now, best practice, like Salesforce's Einstein GPT, forces bias tests at multiple points. And remember, Uber's Grayball, 2014 and 2017.
Vaguely. Refresh my memory.
Their AI was designed to identify and basically trick regulators in cities where Uber was banned, led to a criminal investigation. Or Wells Fargo in 2016. Their AI set crazy sales targets, amplifying bad human incentives, 3.5 million fake accounts, $3 billion in fines.
Ouch.
And Zillow's iBuying algorithm just a few years back lost $881 million in one quarter, 2,000 people laid off, proves AI confidence doesn't equal market smarts.
That's a recurring theme, isn't it? AI just turbocharging existing flaws. Okay, moving on to manufacturing and energy.
Yeah, here, Tesla's autopilot manufacturing, roughly 2018 to 2023, is a really sobering one. Their AI quality control, it missed critical safety defects, resulted in over 360,000 recalls, and tragically, multiple deaths. Really shows the danger when AI prioritizes speed over safety.
Yeah.
And then the Vale mining disaster in Brazil, 2023. An automated system monitored a dam but dismissed sensor warnings as just noise.
Oh, no.
Yeah, led to a catastrophic failure, environmental disaster, $7 billion cleanup.
These just hammer home the need for that human oversight, that judgment call. How about in government and public services? Feels like stakes are even higher there.
They really are. The UK's A-level algorithm debacle in 2020.
Oh, that was huge news.
Yeah, it weighted the school's history over the students' actual achievement. Unfairly downgraded 280,000 students, hating public school kids hardest. Massive protests, government had to scrap it, cost around $100 million. Then Australia's robo-debt system, 2016-2020. AI for welfare debt recovery. Issued nearly 500,000 incorrect debt notices. Linked over 2,000 deaths. Ended in an AUD $1.8 billion settlement.
Just devastating.
And in the U.S., the Compass algorithm, used for predicting recidivism, ProPublica found it was twice as likely to falsely flag black defendants as high risk. And it's still used in some states.
Those examples are really chilling,
Yeah.
affecting grades, finances, freedom. Okay, let's look at finance and banking.
Right. The Apple Card investigation, 2019-2021, Goldman Sachs' AI was giving men way higher credit limits than women, even with similar finances.
Seriously.
Yeah. Led to regulatory action, new rules for fair lending AI. And going back a bit, Knight Capital's trading algorithm in 2012, an untested algorithm went rogue, lost $440 million in 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah. The company went bankrupt within a week. Shows the speed and scale of AI failure in finance.
Speed and automation.
Yeah.
Without checks, it's a recipe for disaster. Okay, lastly, healthcare and medicine.
This is where it gets really scary. IBM Watson for oncology turned out to be a complete failure. It was trained on hypothetical cases, not real patient data.
That sounds like a bad start.
Terribly flawed. It gave unsafe, incorrect cancer treatment advice, like suggesting drugs that increase bleeding to patients already bleeding severely. It was deployed globally. IBM lost $62 billion in market value. Most hospitals stopped using it by 2022.
Unbelievable.
And Epic's sepsis prediction model in 2022 found to have an 80% false positive rate.
80%.
Yeah, led to alert fatigue. Staff just started ignoring the warnings, and they ended up missing actual sepsis cases.
Wow, that's Quite a tour of AI mishaps. So how do we even start to think about managing all these different kinds of risks? It seems clear the tech itself isn't the risk. It's how and where it's used, right?
Mhm.
Like facial recognition for your phone versus for police surveillance?
Exactly. Context and impact are everything. That's why we usually talk about risk tiers. Four main ones. First, minimal risk, stuff with no direct human impact. Spell check, Grammarly, Gmail Smart Compose.
The everyday stuff.
Right. Though even there, GitHub Copilot sometimes suggests licensed code, so it's not zero risk. Second, limited risk. This is where there's an indirect impact, like YouTube recommendations driving watch time, but also potentially leading down rabbit holes.
Or LinkedIn jobs maybe reinforcing existing patterns.
Precisely. Reinforcing occupational segregation. These need transparency, why did I see this,
Yeah.
and regular audits. Then you step up to high risk, direct significant impact on individuals, criminal justice algorithms like Compass, hiring tools like HireVue, healthcare diagnostics.
Okay, the really sensitive application.
Yeah. Here, governance demands things like mandatory disclosure to people affected, the ability for a human judge or doctor to override, frequent bias audits, patient consent. It's a high bar. And finally, unacceptable risk. These are applications that just flat out violate fundamental rights. China's social credit system blocking travel, Clearview AI's mass surveillance database, predictive policing leading to pre-crime detention, these should just be prohibited.
So how does someone in a governance role actually score this? It's not just a gut feeling, right?
No, there's usually a framework. You look at factors like, how severe is the human impact? How sensitive is the data? Can the decision be easily reversed? How many people are affected, the scale? And how much human oversight is there? You score these, and maybe a score over 15 means mandatory human review. Over 25, it's prohibited territory. It helps make it concrete. And another layer here is intent. When we talk about misuse, governance needs to consider why it happened. Was it negligent, reckless, or malicious? Negligent misuse is often about competence, really, using AI without understanding its limits, a failure of due diligence. The classic case is Mata v. Avianca 2023. Lawyer used ChatGPT for research, it just made up cases.
Made them up entirely.
Fabricated them, led to a $5,000 fine, potential disbarment. Now courts are starting to require lawyers to disclose if they used AI, or that Texas A&M professor used ChatGPT detection, falsely accused a whole class of cheating, delayed graduations because the tool was wrong. Then you have reckless misuse. This is knowing the risks but pushing ahead anyway. Profits over people, basically. A failure of responsibility. Facebook's algorithms, 2018-2021. Internal documents showed they knew the algorithm promoted divisive stuff for engagement, despite the mental health risks.
The whistleblower, Frances Haugen, right?
Exactly. She said they put profits before people.
Huh?
And Uber's self-driving car program back in 2018, they disabled the emergency braking system. Someone died. Internal emails showed they were rushing to compete, resulted in the first felony charges over a self-driving death. And finally, the really dark side, malicious misuse. Deliberately using AI to cause harm. This is criminal. The deepfake pornography issue. It's an epidemic. 96% of deepfakes online are non-consensual porn, mostly targeting women and teens, and sites often won't take it down.
That's horrifying.
It is. Or NSO Group's Pegasus spyware, adding AI analysis in 2021 to target journalists, activists, predict their movements, and ransomware now using AI to pick victims, figure out ransom amounts, write convincing phishing emails, cost $1.1 billion in ransoms just last year.
Understanding that intent spectrum, negligent, reckless, malicious is so important because the response has to fit, right? Training might be okay for negligence, like the lawyer example, but malicious use, that needs legal prosecution, serious consequences.
Absolutely. So to manage all this, we need a clear framework. We often talk about a three-pillar governance model. Pillar 1, pre-deployment assessment. This is your main gate. Before anything launches, you need a formal check. Validate the purpose, classify the risk accurately, do the technical checks, bias, security, and design human oversight from the start. Often means an ethics committee with real teeth, with veto power. Mandatory things like review queues, appeal processes.
Like Google canceling Project Maven based on their AI principles.
Exactly. That's pillar 1 in action, stopping something problematic before it even starts. Pillar 2, deployment controls. This is about not just flipping a switch, it's a graduated release. Use a staged rollout. Maybe start with 1% internal users, then 10%, 50%, 100%, with checkpoints at each stage.
Makes sense. Catch problems early.
Right. And for high-risk decisions, you must keep a human in the loop. Users must know they're dealing with AI. That transparency piece is key, like under the EU AI Act's disclosure rules.
If Microsoft's Tay chatbot had followed that.
It would have been caught and stopped immediately when it started going off the rails internally. And pillar 3, post-deployment governance. AI systems aren't static, they learn, they drift, so governance can't stop at launch. You need continuous, real-time monitoring. For performance, for fairness, making sure it works equally well for different groups, and for drift detection, catching when the model's behavior changes subtly over time.
And incident response is a big part of that pillar 3, right? How organizations react when things do go wrong. Because they sometimes will, and response times matter, like 15 minutes for critical issues.
Yeah, the severity dictates the urgency.
We've seen public examples. Google Photos calling Black people gorillas back in 2015.
Their response was immediate removal of the label, though fixing the underlying issue is still complex.
Or the Apple Card gender bias. Algorithm reviewed within 24 hours, model rebuilt.
Quick action there.
And grabs pricing during the Jakarta floods. AI surged prices during a crisis. Huge backlash.
Their response was price caps during emergencies, leading to a whole new ethical pricing framework. Shows learning and adaptation. These examples also point to governance maturity. Some orgs are still ad hoc, just reacting. Others aim for optimized predicting issues. Right now, maybe only 2% are truly at that top level, like DeepMind or OpenAI safety teams.
Only 2%, that's low.
It is. It really raises the question of how prepared most organizations actually are.
Okay, let's bring it all together. Let's revisit that Amazon AI recruiting tool failure. It feels like a perfect case study for everything we've discussed.
It really is. Diving back into Amazon, 2014-2018, their goal, remember, was good on paper. Efficiency, less human bias. But training on 10 years of mostly male resumes baked in bias from the start, it taught itself males were better hires. Penalized words like women's, downgraded specific colleges.
And the technical fixes didn't work.
No. They removed obvious gender words, but the AI just found proxies like field hockey or certain college names. Trying to force fairness just tanked the accuracy.
So what were the core governance failures?
Oh, there were many. No diverse team building it, mostly men. No real ethical review up front. Optimizing for past hiring patterns, which just repeated discrimination. Internal worries were dismissed as just edge cases.
Yep.
And huge pressure to automate and save money.
Sounds like a perfect storm.
It was. And the cost. Staggering. 4 years of work, 20-plus engineers, maybe $20 million direct costs, plus infrastructure, compute, opportunity costs, easily over $50 million total loss. And that's not even counting the huge reputational hit. And the irony, right? They wanted to remove human bias. They ended up building something more consistently biased than any single human, affecting potentially millions of applicants.
So the lessons for people working with AI now are pretty stark from that case.
Absolutely. Key takeaways. 1, you can't just patch societal bias with code. You need a different approach. 2, diverse teams aren't optional. They prevent bias. 3, historical data is biased. AI will amplify it. 4, governance first, ethics before code. And 5, listen to internal concerns. Transparency and escalation paths matter.
And these aren't just abstract lessons. We hear echoes of this from leaders and people on the ground, don't we?
Definitely. Sundar Pichai at Google in 2023 said, the choices we make today will have profound impacts. It's that level of seriousness. CISOs at RSA conference this year basically said, the risk isn't AI getting too smart, it's us deploying it stupidly. More damage from thoughtless automation than attacks.
That's powerful.
A healthcare exec shared discovering their technically perfect AI was predicting readmissions based on poverty. Automating healthcare discrimination, they called it. And Margaret Vestager from the EU Commission. Transparency and explainability. This is not optional, it's the law.
And the speed and scale theme keeps coming up, that finance incident responder.
Yeah, when AI fails, it fails at scale. Deny loans to thousands in minutes. The speed of harm is different.
And the HR exec. AI tool meant to save $2 million. Discrimination lawsuit cost $18 million plus trust.
Exactly. Bad governance isn't just unethical, it's incredibly expensive. These voices really drive home that proactive, thoughtful governance isn't a brake. It's the steering wheel. It turns risky tech into beneficial tools. The cost of getting it wrong dwarfs any efficiency gain.
So looking ahead, where's this going? We hear about autonomous professional services, AI lawyers, doctors, predictive life management.
Yeah, the horizon is shifting. And governance has to evolve too. It's moving beyond just preventing misuse towards ensuring beneficial use, and moving beyond measuring just efficiency to measuring AI's contribution to human flourishing.
Human flourishing. What does that look like?
We'll take legal AI. It's moving from research assistance to maybe AI handling administrative hearings, negotiating contracts autonomously. The governance question becomes, who's liable for bad advice? Medical AI. From diagnostics to AI surgeons doing supervised procedures, the question, who's the physician when AI makes life-death calls? Or predictive life management, AI suggesting career paths. Governance needs to ensure transparency, keep human agency, allow overrides, admit uncertainty, relationship engineering. AI is already in dating apps. What if it starts orchestrating relationships for optimal outcomes?
Like that Chinese app, Tantan, claiming 85% accuracy in predicting relationship success.
Exactly. Where's the line? Governance needs to address that.
So the metrics change. Not just speed or errors, but things like, does it enhance capability, preserve dignity, improve relationships, create meaning, boost well-being, like Salesforce measuring a human-AI collaboration score.
Right. Or Nchanga in Kenya measuring social capital. It's a deeper view of success. So the big question for professionals shifts. It's not just can we build it, it's should we build it? And yes, how do we make sure it serves our best human aspirations, not just immediate wants?
Okay, let's try to make this super practical. Imagine you are the listener, put in the hot seat. You're the new AI ethics officer for a big school district. $2 AIM budget, small team, 90 days. You have to recommend one of 3 AI systems. Ready? System A, attendance predictor. Predicts attendance problems for early help. Trained on 5 years of data, 85% accurate in pilots. The catch. Vendor refuses any audit. Proprietary. Think Chicago schools flagging mostly minority kids leading to punishment, not help. System B, performance enhancer. Personalizes learning. Boosts test scores 20% in trials. But it requires constant student monitoring. And the company. Under investigation in Europe. Remember the Summit Learning data collection backlash. System C safety scanner. Analyzes social media, student comms, claims it prevented incidents. Big problem. No way for students or parents to opt out. Think Glendale School's monitoring program getting shut down over privacy fights. And add real-world messiness. 100,000 students, 70% low income. Recent data breach, parents divided, teachers worried about jobs. Oh, and a rich donor offers $5 million if you check their favorite system. So, what do? What governance is non-negotiable?
Yeah, that's messy. Okay, breakdown. System A vendor refuses audit. That's a hard no. No audit, no contract has to be the rule. System B under investigation in Europe. Huge red flag for GDPR. Privacy violations. Massive risk. System C, no opt-out. Violates basic consent. That's ethically unacceptable, period. The local news attention means you need total transparency. And the donor pressure. That's the core ethical test. Are decisions based on merit or money?
So you'd use a kind of ethical checklist.
Absolutely. Does it enhance capability or replace it? Respect dignity or surveil? Promote equity or bias? Preserve agency or predetermine? Build trust or destroy it?
If any answer is no,
Then it's rejected or needs a fundamental redesign. In this scenario, a good response rejects all 3 as they are. Propose human-centric alternatives may be tools to help teachers, not replace judgment. And demand a governance-first approach. Multi-stakeholder committee, full transparency.
Okay, great practical exercise. As we wrap up this deep dive, let's crystallize some key takeaways, a sort of rapid reference. For AI application governance, before launch, define success beyond efficiency, classify risk, design human oversight, during rollout, stage it, monitor constantly, after launch, audit, respond to incidents, always improve. For misuse red flags, beware vendor hype, near perfect, no human fallback, targeting vulnerable groups, resistance to audits, core principle. AI should amplify human capability, not replace human judgment. Efficiency without ethics is the shortest path to catastrophe. And maybe some memorizable truths. Risk climbs as human control drops. Old data holds old bias. Efficiency without ethics, automated injustice. Govern proportionally. Misuse runs from negligence to malice planned for all. Best AI amplifies, not replaces. Transparency builds trust.
and adding an enforcement perspective. Regulators don't just ask, did it work? They ask, did you govern it? Document everything, your governance efforts. Document them like the company's future depends on it. Because it might. Real examples. EEOC fined iTutor Group $365K for an AI screening out older workers. Lesson. AI doesn't excuse breaking civil rights laws. FTC made Everall and delete AI models built on kids' data collected illegally. Precedent. Bad data poisons the AI.
And finally, some professional wisdom for everyone listening. Who thrives in the AI age? It won't be the fastest deployers, it'll be the most responsible ones. Speed without governance, that's a career risk.
And the career opportunity here is massive. AI governance jobs are exploding from maybe 500 globally in 2020 to over 15,000 now, projected 50,000 plus by 2025.
Wow.
Roles like AI ethics officer, 150K, 300K, chief AI ethics officer, 250K, $500K plus, skills combining technical know-how with ethics or crisis management with communication. They command premium salaries. Being vigilant here isn't just right, it's smart for your career.
And that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We've really tried to unpack AI's dual nature, amazing tool, potential weapon, how it amplifies our best capabilities, but also our worst prejudices. How every system, intentionally or not, has ethics coded into it.
Yeah, the technical is becoming ethical. The theoretical stuff, it's getting very personal, very fast. Your role as a guardian in all this, it's becoming clearer every day.
Next time, we'll keep pulling on this thread with ethics, bias, and human impact. We'll explore why neutral-seeming algorithms discriminate, how good intentions can backfire, all to help you lead in building AI that's truly inclusive and responsible. Thanks for joining us. Keep learning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.